Yo, still Bills, what's the deal, man? We've been having early days at work, man, so I'm heading home at 12:55. I have no problem with that. Hopefully I can get off at this time tomorrow as well, man. But peep game, man. I've been waiting to do it. I was gonna wait till tomorrow when I'm on my Norfolk trip. But I just gotta do it today, man. I wanna give a breakdown of how I think the fight is gonna go on Saturday between Bud and Shawn Porter, man. Like I said before, man, I don't think, like, it's a lot of people predicting a knockout, man. I don't see a knockout. Would I be surprised if he did knock Shawn Porter out? No. I'd lean more towards Shawn Porter getting knocked out than Shawn Porter knocking Bud out. But Shawn Porter has never been in a situation where the ref is, like I said, I made a video about it, on the ropes, whether, ready to jump in the middle to intervene and stop the onslaught from happening. He's never looked that vulnerable in a fight, despite getting dropped multiple times. He's never looked to the point where he's just out of the fight, man. He takes a punch well, man. That shot that Earl landed on him with, that shit looked like he did a little bit of damage, and he got right back up and went in the kitchen and cooked. But I see Shawn Porter really pushing Bud to his brink. Really pushing him, because as much as Bud likes to mix it up, I think it would be smarter for him to stay on the outside and use his lateral movement and punch on the go and set traps. I think it would behoove him, not behoove him, but I think it would make the fight a lot more harder than it has to be if he was willingly standing in the pocket and engaging with Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter is even if Bud does that, if he does stay on the back foot, he's still gonna have to make adjustments as he's fighting off of the back foot, man, because Shawn Porter has real fast feet. He has really, really well educated feet, man, and how he can very underrated jab. He closes distance real well. Man. And one thing about Bud, he does, when he's willing to engage in the clinch, he takes a lot of unnecessary shots. If he fights him the way that he fought Kell Brook, then I think he'll have an easier time. But he does like to get, you hit me, I'm hitting your ass back. That's just who he is. That's always been in his character. That's always been in his DNA. He's just a rugged dude. So he does take a lot of unnecessary shots on the inside in the clinch. Willingly. He does. And I think Shawn Porter is going to force that fight on him, just like he's forced that fight on everybody else. And I don't think Terrence is going to be the dude to be able to get away with it right out of the gate. He said in his Blood, Sweat, and Tears, in that documentary, whatever docu-series, that Shawn Porter don't let you do what it is you want to do. I'm gonna be the first one to do what I want to do against Shawn Porter. I thought that was dope. But Shawn Porter is a dude who he comes forward, his forward progression the entire fight is high volume punching. It's angles on the inside. He's turning you. He's just roughhousing you. He smothers your work shit. He smothers his work just so he can get on the inside and do what it is that he needs to do. As long as I'm on the inside of your range or your reach and I'm in punching position, and you got to put it, you have to put that much more effort into actually separating yourself to get a proper shot off, then I'm good money. And that's just always how he's been. So I don't see Bud completely neutralizing that. I think he's gonna have to work for that. One thing I will say is just I'm expecting Shawn Porter eventually is gonna get to a point where it's harder to close the I want to say this, but I don't, because I've yet to see it happen. I want to say this, but I think it is gonna happen, but just not to the drastic degree of which it's going to sound. But he's gonna find it a lot harder to gain entry on Bud. You know what I'm saying? Past his jab, past his straight shots, his long straight shots. He's gonna find it a lot harder to do that around about the 8th round, I want to say. because Bud's just, his timing, his switch hitting, his punch selection is just, he's just the total package. He's the total package, and eventually that's going to lead to Shawn Porter overextending and overreaching and getting caught coming in, overextending. You dig? Like he did with, I think how the fight played out with Keith Thurman and Porter is going to be the same way. I think it may even be a little bit more taxing in certain points, because Shawn Porter knows, if I don't beat Bud, then eventually I'm gonna have to go and fight one of these young lions coming up and really risk everything that I've worked for. Because if he loses to a Jaron Ennis in this climate that we in, if he loses to a Virgil Ortiz in this climate that we in, it's gonna be real hard to recover from that. Because nobody can just accept, oh yeah, he lost. It is what it is. Nobody can accept that. So he'd have to go all the way back to the back of the line if he loses to Bud. So I think it's going to be a lot more taxing of a fight on Bud than ever before, because he Porter knows what's at stake. But old habits die hard. Old habits die hard, man. And Shawn Porter's aggression is going to be his biggest success and his biggest downfall. It's going to be his biggest success because his aggression and his bull-shark testosterone is going to put him in punching position to score on Bud. He's going to score on Bud, especially early on. He's going to come out. He's going to come out fast, because Bud's going to take the first 2-3 rounds off. He's going to come out fast on Bud. He's going to come out fast, and that he's going to, it's going to bear good fruit. Him coming out with his foot on the gas. But as Bud starts to get his timing down and starts to make those adjustments on the fly, in-ring adjustments, in the moment, it's going to be Shawn Porter's downfall as well, because now he's opening up a little too much. He's overextending, he's overreaching to close distance to get a shot off. His chin is past his knee. His guard is compromised. His foot positioning is all off. He's off balance in midair. His legs are sprawled out trying to close distance without eating leather. Bud is going to start to counter him coming in. He's going to start to counter him coming in. I think it's going to be a seesaw type match early on in the fight. And I think Bud is going to willingly engage. I don't even know if I want to say willingly. I think Shawn Porter is going to draw him into a firefight early on in the match and force Bud to bite down and swing in exchange with him. He's gonna do that. He's gonna do that. And it's gonna be a brawl for the first few rounds, man. It's gonna be a brawl. And I see Bomac and them telling them, man, stop standing there, move around, use your jab. You dig? He has the that switch hitting ability, man. Shifting, lefty, righty, shifting. Circle each way. You have the educated feet. You have the educated enough feet to where you can circle left and right and left and right and left and right. And use, either hand as your lead hand or either hand as your backhand. You have that at your possession. And eventually I see him starting to do that. I see him starting to do that around, start to make those adjustments around the 6th and the 7th round. And by the time the 8th round comes around, you'll start to see Bud start to separate. You'll see him start to separate and really start to pick Shawn Porter apart. And possibly drop him. I can see that happening. The same way that Thurman was able to beat Porter, I see Bud beating him the same way. I want to say a little bit more comfortably, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Shawn Porter knows what's at risk with this fight, so he's not just gonna come in there and lay down. I think he's gonna box a lot smarter. I do. I think he's gonna box a whole hell of a lot smarter. He'll be a lot sleeker even when he's coming in low, and Bud starts countering him with those uppercuts. I think he's gonna be fast enough to get out of the way, to slip those even when he's at a lower level. I see him doing that. I see those little adjustments being made for the. I know for a fact he's going to be fine-tuned going into this fight. He's going to be fine-tuned going into this fight, man. I think Bud is going to really be pushed in this fight, especially early on. I don't see a knockout. I can't say, oh, he's going to go in here and knock Porter out. I can't say that. I won't say that. I will not say that, man. I think Porter has done enough in his career to let motherfuckers know you're not just about to go in here and just knock me out. I'm not having it. You're not knocking me out. You may knock me down, but you're not knocking me out. Porter has been in there with everybody and has fought every style. Every style. And just for people, Bud beating Kell Brook isn't a litmus test as to how he'll do against Sean Porter. Because that Kell Brook that Bud fought was not the same Kell Brook that Sean Porter fought. I've seen a few people try to use that argument, and it's just not the case. But I do think Bud is gonna win this fight like 8-2. Not 8-2, but 8-4. I do think that. Maybe 7-5. Maybe 7-5. I think this is about to really be a tough fight. Now, granted, Bud can go in here and pull a rabbit and get rid of this dude by the mid-rounds. That would and wouldn't surprise me. Because I've said it before, Bud is talented enough to go in there and make that type of thing happen. He's that dude. He's that dude. So from that aspect, I won't be surprised because he's just that nigga. But I would be surprised because I'm like, damn, Sean Porter just got stopped? He just got stopped? Like, damn. So, I don't know, man. Me, personally, I don't see a stoppage. I know everybody up here in Omaha is saying Bud about to go in here and just knock this dude flat the fuck out. And I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't. Me, that's my opinion, personally. It could happen. It very much so could happen. I'm not banking on it because I just know what type of fighter, what caliber type fighter he's standing in front of. Sean Porter ain't never been no nigga to just lay down. Sean Porter ain't never been no nigga to just lay down. I think Sean Porter is training hard enough to make it a close fight. And if not a close fight, a competitive fight. Even in the rounds that Bud is winning, they're going to be competitive rounds. It's going to be a one punch that's going to make up the difference between him winning a round and losing a round. It's going to be that competitive. That competitive. And like I said, I'm seeing this fight playing out like how Keith Thurman was able to do it. It's not going to be a lot of access, hugging, and all that shit. Get it, 1-2, wrap up. I don't see none of that happening. That's not who Bud is. He likes to fight too much to do some shit like that Kell Brook did. That's not going to happen. He's gonna exchange. They're going to exchange, but Bud is going to start the countering. He's going to start the timing. He's going to start to get his rhythm down. He's going to start to just make those in-ring adjustments. And around about the 8th round, you'll start to see Bud begin to pull away. That's how I feel it's going to happen. That's just me personally, though, man. But I'm expecting a damn good fight. I'm expecting a damn good fight, man. People are just, a lot of people are just counting Sean Porter out because he's lost every big fight that he's been in. That could be the reason why he wins. Being counted out and being just like he's expected to lose. He's always the underdog. And he wants another shot at a title. And I don't think he's willing to go and fight motherfucking Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis in order to obtain another title. I don't think he's willing. I don't think he's trying to do that. He's worked too hard to have to go and start all the way over to deal with some cats who are just coming out of prospect mode. He had to go through them in order to get a. Nah, he's not trying to do that. So I think we are gonna get the best Sean Porter that we have ever seen. We're gonna get an incredible Sean Porter, man. But I just think that Bud is just sharper. Bud is just. He has the bigger arsenal of tools at his disposal. Even though Sean has those tools as well. Sean is actually an underrated boxer. He is. I don't think he's the best I don't think he's the best when it comes to, you know, outboxing and being slick or anything like that. That's just not, and that's just not when he's at his best. See, him at his best is when he's fuck it. Oh, nah, I ain't waiting. Shawn Porter is at his best when he's on the inside, roughing you up and spinning you and turning you on the angles on the inside. That's when he's at his best. He's not necessarily at his best when he's working the outside, pumping the jab, using it, you know, hooking off the jab, using the lateral movement. I don't think that's him at his best. Shawn Porter is at his best when he's on the inside, and he's gonna force that. He's gonna force that fight on Bud. He's gonna force that type of fight on Bud. He can't afford to box with Bud, so he's gonna. Oh shit! I ain't never been down here before. Oh shit! Shit kind of neat. But yeah, that's the type of fight that he's gonna get Bud. He's an underrated boxer, but his boxing ability isn't what's gonna be able to get him through these rounds. It's just not. He was able to do that a little bit. He wasn't even able to do that with Ugas. If you ask me, Ugas was touching him up a little bit too much. I thought Ugas won that fight, even though I do understand Shawn Porter winning the fight. I did have Ugas winning. I had him winning. But yeah, man, that's how I'm feeling about it, man. I think it's gonna be a damn good fight. We are in for a treat. I got Bud winning, unanimous decision, 8-4, 7-2, and we gonna see the best Shawn Porter. Did I say 7-2? 8-4, 7-5. Why do I keep saying 2? Stupid nigga, man. He doing some dumb shit. But yeah, I got Bud winning 8-4, 7 or 7-5. Either or, I got Bud coming out victorious in this fight, unanimous decision, no split decision, none of that. I got him winning unanimously. I think him having the more tools at his disposal, him being sharper, that's what's going to carry him over and get him this victory. And expect the possible fight of the year. I wouldn't doubt if this goes down as the fight of the year. I wouldn't doubt if both of them gets dropped. I wouldn't doubt it. This is a